Oil canning is always a hot topic in metal roofing, especially standing seam metal roofing, because it's very common and doesn't look good on your expensive roofing system. Today we'll discuss what causes oil canning, what preventative measures you can take, and if there's anything you can do about oil canning if your roof is already installed. What's up guys, welcome to the Metal Roofing channel. I'm Barnette. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. We release metal roofing and metal construction content every Monday and Wednesday. Oil canning in metal roofing is the perceived waviness in the flat part of the metal roofing panel. You can see it on some standing seam metal roofs in a certain light, and it shows up as a pucker, ripple, wave, or bow. Let's talk about what causes oil canning, what you can do to reduce the chances of seeing oil canning, and if there's anything you can do to fix it if it's on your roof right now. It is an inherent characteristic of all light gauge, cold rolled flat metal because metal responds and reacts to stressors. What I mean by that is as you bend and form a metal panel, or say fasten a metal panel to your roof deck, or the metal expands and contracts as it heats up and cools down, it will try to return to its original shape and not conform to the stress being applied to it. The metal basically has to go somewhere, and the theme of this video will be what's putting stress on your panel. Interestingly, the angle you're viewing your roof from and what direction the light is coming from can make a big difference on how much oil canning you can see. In the photo on the left, the roof looks great, but an hour later when the sun shifts positions, even slightly, you can really see how pronounced the oil canning on this house really is. All metal roofs will have some level of oil canning, but there are some things that can make oil canning worse and way more noticeable. First, if the machine that roll formed the panel isn't set up properly, that can introduce excessive oil canning into the panel. If the panel comes out of the machine with oil canning already, that's a problem, and adjustments should be made before forming the rest of the panels, and the metal coil itself should be checked for any issues. One of the biggest causes of oil canning is the condition of the roof decking. If the roof decking is uneven, the metal panels will follow the shape of the deck and introduce additional stress and oil canning that you will be able to notice. We see this a lot, especially with older buildings that have settled or shifted over the years, or on roofs that are being installed over existing shingles. The best remedy for that is removing the old shingles and leveling the roof deck as much as possible before installing the metal. Also, overdriving fasteners or installing them at an uneven angle can put additional stress into the panel. Improper storage or carrying a panel incorrectly or too few people can add stress as well. Even colors make a difference. While lighter colors hide oil canning better, darker colors and higher gloss shows more oil canning. Some other things that can contribute to showing more oil canning is having a wider panel. Because the bigger the flat part is, the less overall structure you have in the panel. That means the panel legs are farther apart, so there's more material in the flat part of the panel. And speaking of structure, if you have a perfectly flat standing seam panel, there's more opportunity to see oil canning. We always recommend having some sort of structure roll formed in the flat part of the panel to help minimize the appearance of oil canning. This can be in the form of a set of small ribs or striations that spreads any stress across the panel more evenly. The oil canning still exists when you add structure, you just can't see it as well. Another important point is that oil canning is not a cause for rejection, meaning oil canning is not a reason to make a warranty claim. It's aesthetic only, an inherent condition, and doesn't affect the structural integrity of the panel system. Always try to use striations because flat panels are never completely absent of oil canning. And for this reason, a lot of contractors even make customers sign a waiver that says they understand there will be oil canning if they go with a flat panel instead of a panel with extra structure like striations. Sometimes contractors will advise using backer rod, which is a length of foam that's installed behind the flat of the panel, which pushes it out slightly. This may work in some situations, but it's often not the most effective solution out there and is an extra step in the installation. If your roof is already installed and you notice oil canning, unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do at that point. Most remedies post-install cause more problems and damage than they're worth. Now, the best installers catch oil canning early and install to reduce the appearance of oil canning. That being said, if you've recently had a roof installed and you notice some mild oil canning, many metal roofs and wall systems will work out some of the stresses as time passes. It might take several seasons and expansion and contraction cycles for the metal to settle and adapt, but the oil canning could become less noticeable a couple years after installation. Well, I hope this was helpful, and if you want to learn more about oil canning, we have a great blog article that I'll link in the description down below. Comment if you have any questions, subscribe here to the Metal Roofing channel, and as always, I'm Thad Barnette, and I'll catch you next time.